Earlier this month, Jamie Jimenez Rosa and her family returned home to the U.S. after a vacation in Mexico when she was suddenly arrested by Border Patrol agents at Boston Logan Airport. Jimenez Rosa, who has a green card, was held for 10 days and moved between multiple detention facilities from Massachusetts to Maine. Her story has caught national attention as one of many people with no violent criminal convictions caught up in the administration's immigration crackdown. For more, I'm joined now by her husband, Marcel Rosa, and her lawyer, Todd Pomerleau. Gentlemen, welcome to you both, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having us. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to be heard here.
Marcel, I want to begin with you, and I'll just say we can't even imagine what you and your family have been through this month, but just take me back to that day, August 11th. You and Jamie and your 3 young daughters land home at the Boston airport. She's suddenly taken into custody. Tell me about that moment.
They took Jamie into a room by herself, and a few minutes later, they opened up the door, asked me to go in the room. I was with my kids. I told them I'm going to take my kids with me inside the room. And that's when, once I walked into the room, that's when I noticed that something had just happened. My wife, she was sitting down, sunk in the chair. I just knew that there was no way that she would be able to come out that room just based off the energy. There was only one officer that was really doing the talking. He essentially said that she wasn't leaving. I pleaded with them. I asked a series of questions. What they were saying was very vague. She just broke down crying. Just the way the CBP officers was treating the situation, I thought was inhumane. They was destroying my family, and it was as if it was nothing to them, like as if it was like an assembly line in a car manufacturing facility, just another task that they have to deal with. It was tough. It was real tough. We felt like we was ambushed. It was just a tough situation. I mean, we went from having the best vacation to just getting my wife ripped out of my life.
Todd, as Marcel has mentioned, Jamie has a green card. She's a legal permanent resident here in the United States. Her children, Marcel, they're all U.S. citizens. What have you learned about why she was arrested and detained?
To this day, after 2 weeks of litigation and numerous written requests, we've never officially been served with any documentation for why she was detained. She came here at the age of 9 for the American dream. She came here with her green card, her lawful permanent residency. When she was a 20-year-old college student, at one time in her life, she had some marijuana, and she accepted full responsibility for it. I knew that this charge was fully pardoned over a year ago by the governor of Massachusetts, because marijuana possession is no longer a crime in Massachusetts, just like numerous other states in the country.
In those 10 days, what was it like for her? What has she told you about that time?
She was just scared the whole time. She wasn't getting the proper treatment. She has diabetes. She has asthma. She has a series of, actually at one point, her blood pressure was as high as 198. And the only thing that they was giving her was anxiety pills. We didn't even find out until a week after the fact that she went to the emergency room a second time. They wouldn't allow her to call or even allow the doctors to call us. So that was actually news to us. It was surprising. Yeah, her health was deteriorating a lot, especially in the CBP custody.
I have to ask you, because you say this clearly caught you by surprise. You say you feel like you were ambushed. You're someone who has previously served in the government for about a decade, right? Also in the Department of Homeland Security. This government now says that a green card is a privilege, not a right. That's their language. They also say that even legal permanent residents with previous criminal convictions may be subject to mandatory detention, and technically, that does include your wife. What's your reaction to that?
I just feel as if the individuals that were involved in this case made the wrong decision. They stated that they may detain someone going through the checkpoint. That means that they had an option either to detain them or just release them, summons them to a court or a hearing, some type of meeting. That wasn't done. There's a difference between will, shall, must. Those terms were not used. They said may In their public statement, they said May. So that means that the CPP supervisor had the option to let her go.
You mentioned you feel one officer acted in a rogue manner here. Jamie's story is not unlike others that we've heard from across the country here. So when you see this campaign, this promise from this administration of mass deportations, and then you see your wife being treated the way that she was, what does that say to you?
I feel as if better decisions could be made. She's not a flight risk. I'm very confident that there's a lot of other individuals in the same shoes that don't have a voice. I understand if someone is a criminal, you know, they're actively committing crimes, they've committed murder, things like that, I understand. But there's a lot of, from what I'm seeing right now, there's a lot of innocent people getting caught up in this system.
Marcel, tell us about Jamie today.
Okay.
How is she doing, and is there still a potential that she could be detained again or potentially deported?
As of right now, she was released. No bond, nothing. They never filed charges based off the lawsuit that we filed.
I see no other plausible or legal basis they could ever seek to deport her again, but she lives in fear of that happening again.
Marcel, if there's one thing you want people to understand about what happened to you and your family, what would that be?
It was a nightmare. I wouldn't wish this upon any family. It was very, very hard to get out of this situation. So we're just thankful all around for all the love and support from everyone. It's really a terrible situation. I really don't see too many people getting out of this situation. It's just so complex.
Marcel, Rosa, we're thinking about you and Jamie and your daughters at home. Thanks to you and your lawyer, Todd Pomerleau, for joining us tonight.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.